Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to share with you a game played between 12-year-old Garry Kasparov and the 7th world chess champion Vasily Smyslov, at the time 54 years old. Here is what Kasparov tweeted about their first ever encounter about this game. Of course, that was not our first meeting. That took place in Leningrad in November 1975, when I was 12 and faced him in a simul. I lost a good position and was terribly disappointed. It was the last time I cried after a chess game. Without further ado now, let's see why was this game so painful for the future world chess champion. In the game, Kasparov had white pieces and he opened up with e4, to which Smyslov answered with e5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Ruy Lopez is on the board, against which Smyslov chose the Fianchetto variation. This is a line on which he was relying very often. d4, e takes d4, knight takes d4. In here the main theoretical move is bishop g5. If bishop e7, then white is going for an exchange of dark squared bishop, and then is going for an exchange on c6. Yes, he's giving up both bishops. And then usually white is castling queenside as well as black. But in the game to e takes d4, we see knight takes d4 answer. Bishop g7, bishop e3, knight f6, knight c3, after which both players castled kingside. Rook e8, f3, strengthening the central pawn. Knight e5, h3, taking under control the g4 square and preparing f4. a6, bishop e2, d5, f4. All in all, we have an equal game. Knight c4, bishop takes c4, d takes c4, queen f3, c5, knight d e2, bishop d7. Well, this bishop d7 is already a mistake. Going for knight takes e4 is better, relying on the fact that white pieces are awkwardly placed on the e-file, and then play queen e7. If knight g3, then bishop f5. Black is managing to win back the sacrificed piece, and in the end of the day we are getting a drawish position. But in the game after knight d e2 we see bishop d7 answer, and now let's see what's the problem with it. There comes e5 by Kasparov, bishop c6, queen f2, knight d7, and bishop takes c5. White hurried to win a pawn, but this is not good. Playing rook a d1 is better. And then knight g3, knight ce4. In this case, white is really getting a very dominant position, you know. Maybe then white knight can occupy this d6 square. Stockfish almost gives white +2, which is of course a huge advantage. But in the game to knight d7, white answered with bishop takes c5, hard to win a pawn, but seems like that this is not giving white much. Black has a nice bishop pair, and that's something which gives black compensation. Right now, of course, queen takes c4 is not good because of this bishop takes g2. That's why in the game we see rook d1 attacking black queen. Queen h4, queen e3, moving away the queen from the dangerous c-file. And g5, trying to weaken white pawns. Knight d5, g takes f4, rook takes f4, queen g5, knight f6 check, king h8, queen f2, neutralizing the mating threat. At the same time, the queen can support white rook to put pressure on f7. Rook takes e5. Yeah, that g5 was really good, right? Allowed black to weaken the pawn structure and win back the pawn. Knight d4. So far so good. At this point we have a total equality on the board, but this knight d4 is a serious mistake. Playing knight g3 is better. Having the knight on g3 is good to neutralize the threat down the g-file. For example, let's take a look at this line starting with knight g3. Then the following variation can arise. Rook takes, queen takes, and now if here, then rook g8, rook f8, rook e8, and this may end up in a draw, right? Yeah, quite possibly after the exchange of queens. not much the players can do. Let's go back in the game to rook takes e5. Kasparov answered with knight d4, which is losing. There comes bishop takes f6, rook takes f6, and bishop takes g2, a very strong move, which is blowing apart white's defensive shield. The queen is overloaded. If queen takes g2, then queen takes f6. Kasparov played king f2, but even this can't help him. There comes rook e3. Only in here Kasparov won the bishop and lost his rook. Queen takes b7, queen f4 check, and resignation followed. White king is in a mating net. King g1, then check, and then rook g8. The threat is rook takes h3, and if you protect that pawn, then queen f2, and there is no way out. That's why after queen f4 check, the future world chess champion resigned. Good game by 12-year-old Kasparov. In the end, a chess puzzle for you, a simple one where the task is to win with white pieces. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in my next video.